So I don't know why, but I do expect this book summary to be quite bad, to be honest. We're gonna go through Dean Graziosi, I guess this is how you pronounce his name, Millionaire Success Habits book, or Millionaire Success Habits summary. Yeah, this is what we're gonna go through. And as I said, I don't necessarily think that this is gonna be a good book. It might also be kind of a dumb idea to go through it anyway, because there probably are a ton of books that are worth going through rather than this one. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna go through this one. The first point: figure out exactly where you're at now, where you're going, and what your why is. What your why, your purpose. In other words, ask tough questions and give specific answers. Write it all down so that you first of all not gonna forget it. And I think writing it down forces you to think about it, because if you write it down and you have to verbalize it, you have to be able to write it down. Our thoughts are not very clear often, and there is no structure in our thoughts as well. And by writing things down, you have to bring structure in it, and you have to really structure whatever the fuck you're thinking about, which is good and amazing and great. But yeah, the whole thing, okay, you gotta have to figure out your why, and you gotta have to know your purpose and why you're doing things and whatnot. Yeah, it makes sense, and that is something I think we all can agree on is important. But yeah, let's just do it. It's not easy, and this is something that I'm struggling with as well. Why am I here? Why am I doing the stuff that I'm doing? Why am I even podcasting? Why am I even doing that? I don't exactly know. And the thing is, of course, one can give an answer of well, I'm doing it because I want to help people in something really deep, and it is something that I've been looking forward to my whole entire life long and whatnot. But one could also be like, okay, I'm doing it because of the money, just some really simple reasons and some really surface level reasons. But I think when you're searching for your why, it should be something pretty deep, and it should be something meaningful. It should be something meaningful to you, not to your mom, not to your dad, not to somebody else, but to you. The second point: use the 7 Devils Deep exercise to uncover your true why. There we go. Say you want to make 100,000 per month. Cool. Now ask why 7 times in a row. For example, why is 100K per month important? Then I'd be free, which would be the answer. Maybe, possibly. Why is freedom important? I could spend more time with my family. So why is that important? And so on and so forth until you've got until you've gone 7 layers deep. No more, no less. What you're left with is the real raw, from the heart reason that will keep you marching towards that goal. That will keep you marching towards that goal, even when you're at your worst. If you don't dig this deep, you'll have a weak why, and it'll be too easy to quit when times get tough. The third point: think of a bad attitude as this quote-unquote inner villain, robbing you of joy, confidence, inspiration, and passion for life. Tell him to shut the fuck up using the following strategy. I'm hearing the ambulance, and I don't like that. Go on a 30-day news diet. No negative iddy for a month. Work on strengths, not weaknesses, which I think is pretty good advice. We often are maybe forced to work on them and work on our weaknesses and possibly be good at everything and whatnot. But I consider it being quite dumb, because if you really want to get good at something you're terrible at this point in time, it is A, gonna take a lot of time, B, a lot of effort, and nobody exactly knows whether you're actually gonna get to the level you want to get to, compared to other people. Of course, you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people, but I mean, when it is about career stuff and whatnot, then one has to really be honest with oneself. I mean, am I going to be a profi or professional horse rider? No, I'm not going to be that, because I'm not fucking able to horse ride, and I've never done. Well, I have done it, but just once or twice or something. So am I going to be on a professional level in the next 2 years? Probably not. Am I ever going to be on a professional level? Maybe not as well. It's just also because I don't necessarily like it, and which is also a big factor for, pushing through tough times and, being able to deal with fallbacks and or setbacks and or failures. Something that is bothering me quite a bit is the fact that I am not in the middle, even though I am in the middle quite. So I'm gonna have to quickly adjust that, but not by doing that. There we go. Yeah, should be fine. Then ignore all bad advice from unqualified people. Good advice, even though I wouldn't say ignore, but just don't listen or don't act on it necessarily. But I think listening is very important, because no matter how intelligent, no matter how smart, no matter how knowledgeable somebody is in a space, maybe they're just saying something and it strikes you. Maybe they're just saying something because they have experience in other fields, and maybe because they're smart, which maybe makes them qualified. But even if somebody is just so unqualified and incapable of so many different things, there is a chance that this person is going to say something that is going to strike you and that is going to be very important for you. So listening is very important, at least at my point of view. You just don't have to act on it. Don't do what they do, friends, family, school, society. Do something else. And I think this is actually also, or initially was one of the reasons why I started the podcast and all the other shit that I'm doing. I mean, nobody's fucking doing that. I don't know anybody personally that is doing the exact same motherfucking shit that I'm doing, at least not to the same degree, I would say. But yeah, carrying yourself like a winner. Smile, stand up straight, show energy and enthusiasm, even if you have to fake it at first. Find phrases that make you feel inadequate. I'm too broke to invest in real estate, and replace them with empowering words. I'm resourceful and can find creative ways to invest in real estate with other people's money. Surround yourself with battery chargers, positive big thinkers as opposed to battery drainers, negative mediocrity-minded peeps. And I'm actually very grateful, shout out to all my friends. I've quite actually always been surrounded by highly intelligent people, highly smart people, and people that are not like everybody else, and that also doing different things, and people that are seeking more and seeking greater things and or at least very specific things. I mean, even if you're not willing to get rich, even if you're not willing to be this, that, and or the other person, if you really have just so specific goals and if you're such a specific personality or you have such a specific personality, I mean, one person in particular that I'm thinking about, and this person is, probably knows that, fucking smart person, which I incredibly, first of all, enjoy and appreciate, and also so I mean, if I'm doing shit, I'm getting called out, and this is amazing. If I'm talking shit, if I'm doing something that's really not right, everything that is dumb, I shouldn't be doing, and so on and so forth, I'm getting called out, and this is amazing. I don't want to have people around me necessarily that that appreciate everything that I'm doing, or that are praising everything that I'm doing, because I'm doing a bunch of shit that is wrong and dumb and so on and so forth. Really a lot, by the way. The fourth one, swap stories. First, how do you see yourself? What do you say to justify where you are at life? How's the story holding you back? Now prove it wrong. If you blame a lack of business success on a crappy childhood, go read about a billionaire who overcame an upbringing even worse than yours. Also, say it out loud. Listen to how silly it sounds. Take away its power. Pretend you're telling it to God. Give it perspective. Or maybe just telling it a person that you appreciate, a person that you're looking up to, a person that you think is capable and amazing. Look for the good and the bad. Search for silver linings in your poor me story. Now rework the story so that you're unstoppable. Again, write it down. Look for supporting evidence. Read it out loud every night before bed and first thing in the morning. Good advice, once again, I think. Well, maybe I shouldn't judge a book by its title or promise or whatnot, but, very, pretty great advice. And kind of a collection of different things that I've heard over the years. Things that apparently are sensible and or good to do and whatnot. The fifth one, get confident. Use your why to create courage and get the ball rolling. Then fully commit. Stop dabbling and decide to truly go for it. Then become capable by acquiring skills from the right people and sources. When you do this, confidence is a welcome side effect that feeds itself. The sixth one, ensure your confidence. Ensure your confidence. Protect it by being aware of what makes you awesome. List everything that's quote-unquote cool about you and reference it often. Now take it next level. Add a photo of you looking especially fly. Tag on a power phrase. Or take on a power phrase. I'm $1 million blogger and nobody can stop me. Read it over and over. Until you fucking get it in your head and until you until you cannot not believe in that. This is how long should one be reading that, which is reminding me of something that, back in the days I thought, that's totally nice and yeah, I understand it and it makes sense and whatnot. But at this point in time, I still think the same way, but I know that there's a different notion to it as well. And I don't know who said it, but it's been some motivational speaker. And he said, might have actually been Les Brown, but I don't know. You have to listen to this tape, this speech over and over and over again. And when you stop, this is when those negative thoughts are gonna come back. And at first I thought, well, yeah, it makes sense. I'm just gonna listen to it over and over and over again. And but as I've been, I think, growing older, I've kind of, maybe I've also grown negative and pessimistic and whatnot. But I don't know if this originally has been a tape, like a real tape. But if you listen over and over and over and over again, to a tape, it's gonna break, and you have to buy a new one. So there's more money in that. And so yeah, maybe it's also been about that. It's maybe a pretty good marketing strategy to get people to, buy more of your stuff. But, it's very cynical and very whatever, but just a thought. I think seeing both sides of things is not wrong, but then overly relying on one side is wrong, I guess. I mean, yes, okay, there is a negative side to it, but I don't necessarily have to believe in it, don't necessarily have to act on it, don't necessarily have to do anything with it. So who the fuck gives a fuck? The seventh point, make a to-do list. What do you stuck at? What do you suck at? What do you not enjoy doing? What wastes time? What things are keeping you from reaching goals? Transcribe all of it. Now, if any of the above still needs to get done, ask yourself how you can automate, delegate, outsource, or replace each item, which is amazing. I mean, if you have a lot of money, it's going to be a bit easier or a lot of possibilities, especially also when it comes to automation. I mean, okay, buy a server so that you can automate a ton of shit. I don't know if it is that practical for such a lot of people, but for some people, obviously, yes. Not for everyone. And also delegate. I mean, do we have somebody to delegate it to? Maybe, of course, you can hire a person for you to do so, but money. So there we go. Personally, I pay other people to clean my house, my whips, my pool, to do my landscaping, and even have healthy food delivered. My accountant does all the bookkeeping, payroll, and even logs into my account to pay taxes on my behalf. I fucking hate all this stuff. And while I waited until I was rich to hire most of it, I wish I would have done it sooner. It would it wouldn't have been hard. Cut out cable and 1 happy hour a month, and you're even, you know. Anyways, like Dean Graziosi says, when you do this, you're left with only the tasks you enjoy, that make you money. So how sweet is that? And it makes sense. And I think that well, it depends. I just thought, if you are gonna get rich, then there's, probably gonna come the day where you're anyway gonna do so, where you're gonna hire people doing stuff that you don't necessarily enjoy, that is gonna make your life easier. But I do think that there are some people that still do that. I mean, and it is something that I'm thinking about a lot as well. Not necessarily every day, not just all the time, but from time to time. What would I do if I was rich? What would I do? I think that I would really get bored. At this point in time, I don't need any money. I don't need anything. I'm having everything that I need and also quite want. And if I want something, then I'm just really, 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 really gonna take my time and look for the cheapest possible possibility that there is. Also with there in my closet, you can see a white tube thing, which is protein. And I bought it yesterday and it's been $10, which is quite nothing. And I thought about it pretty, quite a lot. And I often then ask myself, do I really need it? Is it really something that I need? Quite often then I just step back and be like, well, okay, then it is fine. And also, if it is like, okay, they're not having it. When I'm in a store and they don't have the product that I'm searching for, the exact one, then it is like, or I think, well, now this is just what it is supposed to be like. So I'm not gonna buy anything else. I'm not gonna buy an alternative. I'm maybe gonna wait, maybe I'm gonna come back the next day, maybe I'm gonna come back the next week, but it is what it is, which I, thought about yesterday as well, because I wasn't able to find this tube, this exact one. Well, not exact one, but the, what is it called? The shelf, yeah, where it was supposed to be, but they kind of tied it or reorganized the store. But yeah, anyway, yeah, do things cheaply. Don't be a fucking expensive bitch. Yeah, that's my that's my message. I'm gonna see you the next time. Bye bye.